All right.
Um,
So Miyagi, tell me what you're saying. Tell me what you're doing because I suck.
okay, so this hole is fairly flat, right? So this is probably not a. Yeah, we'll have a look at a better example in a couple of holes' time. But generally, this course has a lot of uphill approach shots. So whenever you're setting up, if you normally set up there, for example, on a flat course, on those approaches where you're hitting uphill, you need to allow a bit more for secondary wind effect.
Okay.
And the steeper the approach, the more you need to allow. So whatever you do on other flat courses, like Whispering Pines, etc., you need to add a bit of extra adjustment, lateral adjustment for your
Okay.
uphill approaches and downhill approaches, for that matter.
Absolutely. So my issue. So like, yeah, you got a nice uphill shot. And
Yeah. So
and how far from max are you right now?
say again, sorry.
How far from max are you?
Oh, I was 3, I think. Yeah, 3 rings. So I use the app, and we'll talk through that in a minute. But 3 rings. Your setup is it doesn't matter if you use an app or calculations, right? It's your setup that will get you drops or not, I think.
I think you're absolutely right because I'm doing everything that I normally do and it's not working.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there's obviously
So
something different about these sloped courses that I can't get.
on this hole, for example, you can see there's a slight upslope to the hole.
Yes, sir.
Yep. So if I would normally on a flat hole with pretty much a 3.4 tailwind, I would set the tip of my shot view right.
Really,
Can you can
that
you
much back,
can you
eh?
see my grid?
Yeah, I can.
Just a question.
I can
Oh, you
see
can.
your shot views right to the center line.
Okay. Um, because it's uphill, mean pulling back down a slope for your adjustment. So in that case, I would bring it a little forward
Okay,
of
so you're
center.
about 60% there.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not guaranteed to drop this, but I guess we're just talking about principles here, right?
Yeah, no, it's the approach for sure.
So I've got my 5.3 rings. The way my app is calibrated, I need to offset for any lateral winds. So that wind is at about 2 o'clock. I need to, and this mightn't be the same for other people. They might have their adjustments calibrated so they always line up dead center of the pin.
Yep.
I don't.
Okay.
I need to adjust.
Well, you're
And I
clearly
don't
doing
know.
something superior. So I'm thrilled to see it how this works.
Sure. So at about 2 o'clock, with a 3.4, I'd be set up about here. Now, the other thing to take note is when I pull down to the bottom left hand side of this screen, I'm pulling down a slope as we know from that angle.
Yep.
So I'm actually pulling away from I'm over pulling my adjustment.
Yeah.
So if this was a flat hole and I needed to adjust here for the 2 o'clock wind, because when I pull I'm going to pull down the slope. I'm gonna have to bring it back a notch to get one probably for me 1 notch closer to the pin because I'm going to overpull sideways.
Okay.
So on a flat hole I might set up there, but because I'm pulling down that slope, I'm over pulling that way. So I'm going to set up a bit further this way to compensate for that.
Okay, so just to think of that in my own words, you're setting up left edge, and a little bit
Yeah.
closer to the hole.
So if this was a flat hole, so normally sort of my routine, and I don't know if I've lost that adjustment. Oh, that'll do. So if this was a flat hole for this wind, I would probably set up here, there. But because I'm going to pull down the slope, I'm going to go one notch that way.
Okay.
So now I'll plug into my app. You don't use the app? You use Calcs?
I use the app for basically not Bigfoot and not um, Hellfire. Everything,
Okay.
but like if I'm using Lightning Rod Rattler, so like I'm definitely familiar with the app, and I've got I'm
Okay.
actually getting a good place to Rattler.
So once I get to the app and plug in my calculations, I'm basically at the point where you guys would be before you do your calculations.
Yeah.
So as I said, my calibration to these clubs are different. So you might have this set up right on the pin, but then slight adjust for the downslope, and that's it. But where I've got to make an offset either side depending on the wind. So, and I will use this later on, my elevation, but for this hole not. So I am 2.8, right? I got my little magnifier.
Yeah. I can't imagine how deadly you'd be with a grid like what I've got set up.
I know. I am envious of you. Those
But I mean,
Android grids.
you don't even need it. Like you've been killing it the last like 4 or 5 months. I mean, ever since I've been with the dude, you're you know easy 2,000 in fraternities every single month. Go in.
Okay, so a bit short.
Yeah,
So I needed to put.
I'm
I
always chewing on this hole.
needed to push back up a bit at that hole. That's fine. The principles were sort of matter here, not my end result, but I'd like to drop a few.
Yeah, this course for me is like it has more of those greens that you can find a way to miss the whole left and then have it spin back on the
Yeah,
opposite side of the hole than any other course in the game. It's infuriating.
I really enjoy. I sort of enjoy the thought that the just don't smash 39s on this hole, right? It's got them. It's a challenge for those as well. So
Oh, it's the hardest course in the game.
yeah.
Right.
So this one's a mass.
Without being gimmicky.
No, exactly right. So this one's a massive downslope, as you know. So I'm right on max range. 0.2. So on a flat hole, let me. So my routine is I straighten up my shot view this way
The back
all the
side.
time, right? Yeah,
Interesting.
from the backside.
And why do you do that?
I just find it easier because I don't set up generally on the pin, so I don't later on I don't have this view as the guide really.
Yep.
So that's probably the reason. Sometimes I do that. If I'm right on the pin, got a dead headwind or tailwind, I will. But generally, because I'm sitting from the pin, I don't have that guide, so I just do it from the back early on.
Okay.
Okay, so with tailwind, so a normal hole would probably be just past 50%. Because this is down slope. I tend to land a bit. I don't think my elevation adjustment over here is accurate. So I tend to overshoot downslope. So I will compensate for that by setting further back.
Okay.
I would. So there's two compensations here. There's one for that, and there's one just for the just if I had that dead accurate, you'd want to set back a bit anyway, because it's such a big downslope. So that's probably where I'd set up. Just maybe touch more.
And even backing up a step further, you're on full back spinning. You know, do you take bars away, add bars when you do
No,
your shots?
no, that's a technique Duff uses, and it threw me out for a while, until I realised that's just his way of doing something. I do another way.
So you're setting everything up with
on,
full back spin
on
and
yeah,
visualizing the change in the arc based on the wind
yeah,
direction.
yeah.
Okay.
So I'm about 50% there. Then I'll go one notch more for my overshoot. um, okay, got about 11-degree wind. I would probably normally set up just outside the pin on this one.
On the
I'm going to
right.
go. I'm going to go another notch more because I'm going to underpull up the slope, and it's going to land further left than it would on a normal flat
Okay.
green.
Yep.
So 3-3. What? So I've got to actually. So I was 0.2, wasn't I? So about 2.5, let's say. 2.5.
And you've got your max 22.6, and you said you've got some calibrations that you've added or removed to sort of as you fine tune.
Yes. So if I double click, if I press and hold you see my WPR, I've set at 7.5.
Plus 7.5. Okay.
Yep.
And that was I imagine a lot of trial and error and tinkering around.
Trial and error. Yep. Look, if you could set that at 0, but then you'd have to. There's no right way, right? So if I had that set at 0, I'd be setting up some way left or right of where I am now. It's just trial and error.
Yeah.
Um,
But you've
so
this is something I was talking with Trucks about a couple weeks ago. It's all about the consistency and the approach, right?
correct.
You're setting up with the same principles in mind every time. You're executing the
Yep.
same way every time. You're repeating your experiment over and over again, and you're getting a consistent result because all that stuff is stable.
And really, trial and error has gives you the uh, particularly for this course, trial and error about how much to adjust for upslopes and downslopes is the key, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So what I'm showing you here, you might need to make more or less allowance on your adjustments, but the principle's the same.
okay,
So this is where I start playing with my uphill and downhill slopes. So
okay,
if you can see I use the once I've set up, is that midpoint, 2.86.
Yep.
For this one, my experience is with this setup is a 4% downslope. So that adds another 0.1 to my shot. So it's 2.97, so just under 3.
Okay, and that meshes with sort of how I think of pulling up and down slopes, right? Like,
Yep.
about 0.1 for a if it looks you know not that severe, usually 0.05. With a slope like this, about 0.1. If you're like pulling down to a bunker, 0.2, 0.3.
How do you normally go with this hole?
Usually I miss it long.
Not enough. Right, this almost probably a bit short.
A little bit short, yeah.
And allowed too much.
How'd you do in your second round here? 62?
62. I
Is
think
that
I'm still.
is that 31 twice?
Nah, it's a 30.
32, 30?
Yeah, bloody hole 13.
How disappointing for you.
It's yeah, that extra bit of wind is a exponential increase in challenge, I think.
Yeah. I think I had one drop today, and it was on that hole that you can drive with the no adjust range.
Okay. Oh yeah,
Like
yep.
the 12th to the
Which
13th, sort of that weird bend you end up between the bunkers, and then you can chip up.
Yeah.
The only one I got today.
You got a tailwind?
No, I had a side when I used an A flight. Yeah, I used a good ball.
And you got into no adjust, did you?
I got to left edge.
Okay.
I had to, it was like one tick adjustment. It was right just a piece of the avatar below the ring. So it was basically, I mean,
Okay.
I knew I could make it when I saw where it landed. Although it was like half an inch from the rough. So it was tight, but it was the only drop I got today.
Oh. How you sitting in your comp, in your bracket?
Sitting first. So
Nice.
yeah, it was like 25-21, I think. Yeah.
So
Good.
this is pretty sort of standard par 3. So it's got a fairly long arc, so a fairly long rollout, with a slight headwind. I find these the most challenging, to be honest. Getting
Yeah, usually like for me, I'll put like with a wind like that, I'll put like 2, maybe 3 tick the top spin on, and then take it all off and take the shot.
yeah. So I'm setting up about 75%. Just assuming it's going to roll out a bit, even with the slight headwind. Quite a strong side wind. And this is, believe it or not, I do just a lot of guesswork on how much I allow. For this, this scale of headwind, this scale of side wind.
Yeah.
So
You're
if
setting
this
up
was
and wow. Okay.
yeah. So if this was a flat deck on a 3.4 side wind, I'd probably be there. Because I'm gonna pull up the slope. I've got to probably allow a bit more. So probably it just feels too much. It's all about feel for some of these shots.
Well, that's the experience, right?
Yeah.
You've been squinting at pixels, and you've got that
I,
second nature kind of feel to it.
I'm still loving the size of my iPad screen versus my phone. I went back to the phone the other day and I can't believe I was playing on that thing.
How long have you been playing on the iPad?
The iPad about 2 weeks.
Well, that's it, eh?
Yeah. Just got it. Um, as I said, my wife got it for my birthday, so God
Very
bless
nice.
her.
God bless her. You're finding it's really improved your
I wouldn't say it's improved yet. I'm still sort of finding. I this particular aspect of it is something to get used to. I think I had a lot of visual gauges on the size of my phone, and you and I just get a slightly different perspective on my iPad for this
yeah,
for
different aspect of
viewing.
it too.
So okay, look, I'm going to go with that. But this is how much I offset using my calibrations
You're
for.
you're like a cup and a half, 2 cups offset
Yep.
to the left there.
Yeah. I'm about 2 cups, right?
About a cup and a half, yeah, okay.
Um. Oh, sorry. So right, what am I? I'm right on max. I've got to pull back. Jeez. Yeah, I am.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Ah, shit. Okay, let's do all that again. I'm gonna pull back about 1 point. I'm gonna go 1.7, and then need to adjust this again. Now this is gonna give me more rollout.
And are you a purely Bigfoot guy, or are you as adept with Pegasus or Lightning?
Oh, I'm purely Bigfoot. I'm starting to dabble with lightning rod, but I just gonna find the right time to muck around with it.
Yeah, it's such a particular club.
I'm really turned off by counting more than 5 rings.
Yeah, the 11 ring adjustments are a bit much sometimes.
So that's probably that's you know what? I'm gonna pull this one in just slightly. Okay, 1.7. Check that off. Sure. We got a slide uphill, I think here. Very slight. Let's go 1%. So I'm 3.08. I've always been pretty rough with my calculations. My adjustments. It's I trust my eyeball.
I think at the end of the day, that's all you can trust, right? 'Cause if you rely too much on the math and not enough on feel, you're never going to sort of figure it all out. Going, nice shot.
So yeah,
Definitely.
so you can see the secondary wind effect there. It just sort of curved in right into the cup the last minute.
Yep, it took you
Um,
exactly where you wanted to go.
yeah, so um, probably doesn't it probably doesn't correlate with me bringing it in one tick early on, but like as I said, when I'm 3.5, 3.4 side wind, it's a little bit a guesstimate to be honest. So
And that was sweet. That was like, I mean, the way that I often try to sort of compensate for those sloped shots is by putting a little bit of side spin to sort of take away from
Yeah.
But that's, again, that's a feel thing, and
Exactly.
I just totally feel.
And I've seen other people do that, and it works for them, and there's no right way, right? So,
Yeah. That's
no
not
right or
working for
wrong.
me either. And it's funny because like you start second guessing yourself, where
Yeah.
you put half a tick of side
Oh,
down,
that's
and you end up realizing that if you just left it alone, it would have gone in, and then you don't do it on the next hole and you miss to the right because you should have.
exactly right. I reckon if you took the second guesses away, you'd be shooting 36s, 37s. I reckon. Like you say, you go one tick too far on one hole, and then you overcompensate the next. So.
Well, I think that's one of the really devious things about this course is because the greens, you know, from hole to hole are so different. You need to take a unique approach on every single green.
Okay.
It's not like Torrey Pines where the greens are all sloped in a
Yeah,
very similar way, and you can use one
that's
approach
right.
for all the greens. Um,
Exactly.
Sedgefield, it's like you gotta think each green being a completely different course.
That's right. That's where you've got to understand the principles to be able to adjust for different circumstances you get on these types of courses.
Hmm.
So I'm 9.6 back from Matt. Now this particular green is a bit quirky.
Big side slope.
Big side slate, which it's not so much the side slope for me. It's this. So if you look at that view, it looks pretty flat, right?
Yeah, it does.
Does that look pretty flat to you?
Yeah, it looks super flat.
Um, then you go over here,
Yeah.
and you get a completely different view.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
it's like a
it,
point one downhill,
yeah. So
maybe even point one
um,
five.
I've started um, I've started checking both sides of my views, and I'm finding this more often than not. It's quite surprising. Um, so I will probably set up about 80%. What have we got? Oh, I've got a real pretty strong. Okay, yeah, probably a bit more. Gonna go about 90%, I reckon.
And again, you're on full backspin, but you've got
Full backspin. Probably go back one touch there.
about 3 bars of
Um,
backspin to try to straighten that thing out.
yep. So yeah, I'm probably about 90% on that.
Yep.
Uh, I'm going to be pulling up a slope, so I've got to so get on the pin. So if this was flat, I'd be setting up there. Because I'm going to go slightly up a slope, I'm going to go one more. Yeah.
Okay.
So 1.8 plus 9 points. Was that 9.6? So 11.4. Where are we? Away. Fat fingers. Take the uphill slope. It's probably slightly down, but so 2.5. I'm going with.
So you had an elevation gradient included in your calculation, yeah?
No, I took it off
Took it
for
off. Okay.
this hole. It's probably slightly down, but I don't generally tend to use the down slope adjustment unless it's significant, like
Okay.
that hole too. So 2.5. So you notice I don't set up at the V of the shot view. I don't know if you're across that conversation we had on
Yeah. No, center of the circle
Group
for
Me.
sure.
So I'm center of the circle. Yep. Okay.
Yeah. And that was a game changer for me. That got me like an extra 4 drops around,
And
like
and,
immediately.
And it quickens it up the whole process because trying to get your buddy,
Yeah,
sometimes trying to get that shot view
yeah, to stick
is
where you want.
not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that was a big time saver, and just the scores were dramatically improved.
Drop in the side, no, slightly too much.
It's funny if you left it where you before you made that one
Yeah,
ticket jump, it would have gone in.
it would have dropped.
Yeah,
That's it. You know, that's a lot of misses are like that, right?
yeah, exactly.
Um,
Well, it's
so
just, I
what's
mean,
your
the difference between an 890 and a drop is yeah, one tick, right?
yeah? Um, okay, one tick off that, I think.
This hole is I mean, I hate this hole, but man, I think it's a great hole.
A
It's
great hole.
yeah, it's such a, that hitting up onto that really sloped green. It is just an absolute
I love it.
it's just meant to be.
What's your wood of choice? Is it high Hellfire or
Yeah, I'm four away from finally maxing Hellfire. So, um, yeah, it's my preferred one. I've been using Root a lot lately just because I've been trying to get better with it. Um,
yeah?
but so if you've got like you know, plus I mean sometimes you need it just because the green, the pin's tucked away and you need more backspin. But
Yeah,
I prefer I'm pretty decent with Hellfire from range, but I'm trying
yeah,
to sort of use the root more on those ones that I want to sort of get one bouncing in.
yeah. I do like the route. I just don't like the shot view. But yeah, it it's something. If you use it quite a bit, you'd get used to pretty quick. So,
Yeah, I'm trying to sort of put my time between the two of them.
I'm about 9.7 there. Again, I'll go straight into straightening up my view.
This hole as well, like depending on where you put your drive, it changes your elevation change getting into the green so much.
Yes, yeah.
If you were if you
So
were if you were 10 yards further towards the hole, you'd be like
you soon up.
30 feet further downhill.
Yeah. So what have we got? Straight side wind. So with a little bit of tail. And not much bounce out on the end of the shot view. So I'm gonna just go about 75%.
Yeah, about 75 is
Um,
how I'm remembering that.
it
Okay.
Yeah, it sort of rolls. It's got a downhill roll, so it'll roll out a bit. Okay, so for my calibration, this is a bit of a quirky one, but um, I either set up, I set up towards the direction of the wind.
Okay.
I adjust towards the direction of the wind. So if it was 3 degree, three miles per hour the other way, I'd be setting up over here. I'm about a cup out. Actually, I'll probably go a bit more because this one turns back in slightly. So this will be the remember that moment is one tick, right? That tick.
That ball is going to roll out from left to right. Yeah.
From left to right,
Yeah.
and I'm make so on a if it was rolling out straight, I'd probably set up a cup away, but it's turned back in. I'm going to move it out slightly a bit more. Now,
You're about half a cup outside the left. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So now I'm looking at the green, there's not much of a elevation. I'm not pulling down a slope, anything significant, so I'm going to leave it there. If I just go back to my shot, I'm not drop, so I'm not going to make any uphill downhill adjustment. So I've just got to work out. So that's 2.8. And what did I say the other one? It was 9.7, wasn't it? So 12.5. $2.65.
I do like the little adjustments on the Hellfire.
On the what, sorry?
Like the small Hellfire numbers are such a nice reason to use it.
Yeah.
2.4, 2.5, right? Like with root, that would be like 3.7, 3.8.
Yeah. And yours isn't a max yet, right?
I'm 4 cards away.
Not far.
Not far.
Okay.
Been playing over a year, and I still haven't maxed everything.
I can't even remember what that does. Does that give you
It's shot
significant
view.
more shot view? Or?
Yeah, I think it's another like 10 or 15 shot view.
Yeah. Yeah. So how would you set up for a 3 mile an hour straight side wind on that with your calibrations?
I mean, honestly, I would be like my setup would be similar in terms of my distance from the pin, but I
Yeah.
actually would line it up on the right side of the cup. If I was pulling, if the wind was right to left, I would be lining up on the right side of the cup.
Yeah. I mean, that's I've got to play with my my calibrations, but I've sort of just learned to work with the one that I've used for so long.
Well, I mean, your adjust. I mean, everything's baked in, right? Like just watching you, take your distance from match, your distance from the pin.
Yeah.
All those numbers are all baked into the app. You got the app calibrated in a way that you fully
Correct.
understand. My numbers, like if I were to plug in my numbers, which I mean I could even do, like I could, you know, uh, look at my number, look at your number. They're probably off by,
They
0.1,
are because
0.5
you set up differently.
because I'm setting up differently than you are.
That's realization. Fuck, I went too far. I that and I don't think I'll even be able to. Select. What is it?
It really doesn't want you to use the short.
Oh, maybe.
You might be able to get it.
I've got to pull back there. I'm going to go with it, right?
Give it a rip. If you can, you may not be able to adjust it.
I'm just going to see how close I can get it.
Yeah, just chuck it up there and play the next ball.
It's a slight, it's a slight uphill. So let's talk through this principle anyway. So if this is a flat hole, you got a slight headwind, slight tailwind. I'm setting about 70, about 70, 75, right?
Yeah, 70, 75. Yeah.
Because I'm going to pull down the slope a bit, I'm going to go push it up slightly.
Right.
I don't think I've got the adjustment. But anyway, let's see if we can compensate by. If I think I'm going to overshoot this one. Okay, so
This is such a tough green. Like that sort of false front really
okay,
takes
so
a lot off of it.
yeah. Look, I'm just gonna go a touch more. Give myself about 1. So 2.9. I'm going to be pulling. It looks like it's pulling slightly uphill from left to right. I'm going to have to compensate for that by pulling it a bit more. So 2.9. I'm about there. I'm going to pull slightly uphill, so I'm going a tick more, and I am shooting about my 2 degrees uphill, so I'm going to compensate even more for that. So because it's an uphill approach. I'm allowing for a little bit extra secondary wind effect from right to left by just pulling it out a little bit further to the right.
Okay.
So I'm going to go set up there. That'll do. 29.
I hope you got enough room to make your adjustment here.
If it's not, I'm just going to take it to maybe overshoot, but let's see how the line is anyway. 2.5. 5. Yeah, I'm not going to have enough room.
Yeah.
Okay. See how bad it is.
You could always try to drop it with the basic.
It's about 1, isn't it? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in a bit hot then. So I'm going to, if I'd set up there, I'm going to come in a bit hot, so I'm going to move it closer to the pin because I'm overshooting, so it's not going to move as much as if it was set correctly for distance.
Yeah.
So this will probably be, and I'm not. Oh, okay, that'll do. But you know what? So this is going to be long, but maybe it attacks the pin. No, not enough. Okay. Oh, it was a bad approach.
Yeah. No, not the best example there. Just
No,
you couldn't actually do what you wanted to do there.
no.
So let's do one more in action. Oh, maybe not.
maybe we'll just.
Yeah, just chuck it up there.
I'll show you what one of these ones anyway. I think we're about 2. I use. How do you use the driver on this?
I've been using Holy Driver on all the threes that you have to use a driver. I use Holy Driver, and I think on this hole I'm trying to do the same thing, wind constant.
Say again, sorry.
I think on this hole, as I recall, I'm just with the Holy Driver, you get a really compressed shot arc.
Yeah.
So I'm just like landing at 2 feet in front of the pin and just trying to drop it in.
Yeah, this one, my adjust is tends to overshoot, so I set back further than I normally would.
It's quite a bit downhill from the tee as well, right?
Yeah. That's why I overshoot, because when I use this, I'll put 4 in here, but I think it's actually something like 10. I just think my magnitude's out.
Right.
And say, you can see the difference, 2.83 versus 2.67. So it
So
overshoots. But
about
I've never,
0.5. Okay. Yeah.
yeah, no one can tell me what the actual gradient is. So
Yeah. It's just sort of like an uncalibrated slider, right?
you're right. Yep, correct. Um,
But from experience that 4% gets you where you want to be.
yeah, yep. I know what adjustments to make for the overshoot. I just set it back a little bit. And where are we? 3.0. I am 1.2, I think, from min. I've done that before.
Yeah, I've done that before too.
You go, what the fuck? And then, 4%. So
Yeah, you're off by like a
2.13.
full room. You might need to swap your Hellfire out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right. 2.13. Shit.
Yeah.
I better put that one back. Would the root give me enough range, or am I going basic?
I go basic and just ignore it.
Where'd you go?
I'm on
Way down there.
waiting.
Well, let's just. Sorry about this. I'll just.
No, it happens. This whole I mean, this has been like the best quality of life improvement that the developers have given us, was the ability to change clubs in game.
Oh, 100%. Like, it
Having to
was a.
having to click out like 40 clicks to get out, change the club, and then go back in and realize you picked the wrong club, or you hadn't gotten rid of
It,
you had basic below it, and you're like, oh
it was.
man.
It was so bad that some of those red and blue tourneys where you knew you had to change clubs, I just wouldn't play.
Yeah, yeah. Or I just say fuck it and like hit like an underpowered,
Yeah. Oh
an
fuck it,
underpowered Bigfoot, just so I wouldn't have to swap out.
I'm hitting what I got. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. I'm just going to go with the same.
So this green is sloped from back to front. You're pulling downhill.
Yeah. So good point. So I probably will put it pretty much right side of the pin. Actually, I might go on the pin. Close enough.
But you're visualizing the wind pushing that ball a little bit towards the left side of the hole.
Yeah. Yeah. That'll do it.
Nice.
Nothing but net.
Yeah. Pretty nice. those are always satisfying. The driver hole in one.
Can you just hang on a sec? Hang on. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, of course.
You what? Mum's in there. Yep. Sorry, mate. I'm back.
No worries.
We'll just okay, so I'm going to
This
not do
hole,
anything.
yeah. This
I'm not.
hole, I had a slight. This is my one drop today, and I had a
I'm not going to
light
do anything
feeling
special
or
here.
just get side.
Oh, you know, one thing I've had to get used to on the iPad is that on my iPhone 13 or something, the screen goes all the way to the edge.
Right.
On this iPad, it doesn't. So quite a few times I've pulled max and my finger slips over the edge of the screen, but
It might be as you as having released your shot.
correct.
Wow.
So I'm still getting used to that and still fucking it up.
Still fucking it up.
So what would you do on? Do you go max overspin all the time?
Yeah. Always,
On your
always max top spin.
Yep.
Can you zoom all the way out?
Yeah, to get you.
Just curious how far out you are. You're like,
So that's almost 0.45, is it? Do you know these off the top of your head?
no. So for me, these shots are 100% feel.
Okay.
So
So you don't. Yeah.
I'd look at this. I look at the wind direction. I look at the wind speed, and I basically say, okay, that for me, I would do like 7 ticks.
7 ticks.
Yeah, that would be my
Yeah. Right.
adjustment
What? Just right to left or in the direction of the wind?
in the direction of the wind. I basically line it up so you got a slight headwind, or sorry,
Yeah.
you got a headwind. So I mean, shot view right on the cup, dead center, and then I do
Yeah.
7 ticks.
Okay. So is that you go slightly? Is that all right?
Can you zoom in a bit more? Yep, yep, yep.
So just 7 ticks to the right, yeah,
7 ticks, like well, no, like in the direction of the wind,
like that. Do you just put your
like
arrow
wind.
to the side?
Oh no, wind north to south,
Yeah, wind north to south.
and then 7 ticks towards you. Although you got a little bit of an uphill, so my adjustment's probably a little bit over. I mean, it's such a finicky thing. Like I've tried to do the ring on the avatar,
Yeah.
and I find the ticks is like it's what I trust because I don't I just I'm not I missed if I actually try to do the calculation I missed.
I'm gonna yeah. I look. I'm
Your
just
way.
gonna go
Let's see it.
to 9. I would normally refer to the chart, but I'm not going to drop out of the game and go and find it in my photos.
Hold on, I got it. I got it here. Uh, um, so
Okay, so so
yeah, you're at about a
it
point five
was
three, right?
just outside the ring. In fact, the arrows are touching the avatar edge of the arrows. Is it?
So yeah,
What's
that
it?
would be like a 0.53, maybe a little bit more. So
0.53.
the app says at a 2.9 wind with a 0.53, that's 1.54. Maybe a little bit more than that because you're a little
Yeah,
bit
because of the
further down.
yeah. This is the big weakness in my game is hives.
Yeah, the adjusted hives.
Yeah. So 1.6.
Yeah, I'd say 1.6.
That's
How many ticks is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, about 7 or 8. We're in the ballpark. We're in the ballpark.
I would have counted if I had remembered the. No.
Yep. Needed like yeah, another 0.1, maybe even 0.2.
Okay, let's get a par 4 uphill that I have Bigfoot range in. Would be nice. So that's the other thing on this iPad is finding my BF range. I'm still.
That's the one thing. One thing I like about the phone is I know my Bigfoot range is the width of my screen and the width of my screen exactly.
Well, and that's the same on my iPhone, right? So I just completely didn't think about it transitioning over to this. But
Yeah,
then you guys with your Android grids can just put markers. I've
yeah,
seen guys just have markers on their center line all the way up the screen that
yeah,
give them range for all their clubs.
yeah, yeah. You could just draw a little. I've seen a few people have
Yeah,
like a little calibrator
yeah. You just have
line
a
on
line
the left side
there,
of the screen.
like on your center line there,
Yeah,
and then a whole bunch down here for your tenth of a ring.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. It's definitely nice for the precision. But the issue that I have is that I've got a really good tool, but I don't know how to use it properly.
Yeah.
Um,
So
at least when it comes to this course.
7.1.
G'day, guys. You got Interceptor or James here. How are you?
Hey, mate.
Hey man, how's it going?
Yeah, I'm good. I saw you doing this, and I thought, oh shit, I'll stop cleaning for an hour and a little bit and have a look.
Stop ballet lessons and
Yeah, I've done all that. Just been doing some
then
gardening. I need a break in the code.
I haven't exactly.
Miyagi's educating me here.
Yeah, I see this. This is good. But I just caught the tail end of your conversation about not getting your Bigfoot range and stuff on the iPad. I've only ever used the iPad, and
iPad, yeah.
and for me, I like it's just an eyeball, and I do miss.
Yeah.
I do, occasionally, and I'm like, oh shit, got to pull out the Peggy.
I'm just getting used to the eyeballing because it was on the phone. It's as Sharty said, same as Android. It was exactly the width of the phone, so
Yeah,
no need to eyeball.
a nice tailwind here. Look at this.
Yeah. So what you can sometimes get is that tailwind. That tailwind's is probably about 5 past 12, right? I'm going left side of the pin just because the uphill shot can exaggerate that any lateral wind.
Yeah. How are you doing that magnification of that? Is that just a little magnifier you got or something?
If you go into control, into your settings, into accessibility,
Yeah.
and then there's a zoom function,
Oh shit! I
and
wondered what that was.
you set that up, yeah.
Cool.
Little magnifier.
Yeah, I didn't know about that.
It's so it's pulling slightly downhill. But it's a pretty long arc, so I'm not going to give much adjustment than if it was flat. So just past maybe 60%, maybe less. I reckon again. It's probably 60 now. So it was 7.1, 4.8. Gonna move that back over. And yeah.
I'm loving these overlays. That just looks so slick.
I haven't figured out how to do that either, Miyagi. That's
Oh,
cool.
haven't you?
Well, I just have my phone going. I just have the G-Fug on the phone, so I just
Right.
have it next to me.
What did I say? 7.1 and 4.8. No?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go back and no, it's about 2%. Yeah, it's at 2, so I'm 2.3. Yeah, I can get that more central. It would bug people with OCD.
And you your setup your shot you set up right edge there.
Yeah, it's like a hair's breadth, right?
Yeah, it's tough on these long
I
ones.
got bad
Slightly
light
left.
here.
Slightly left edge. Yep.
Slightly
left.
Okay. Like there's. Look, this might go straight, but sometimes they have slightly, maybe 12, 10 past 12 sort of winds. They will have an effect. This one probably doesn't matter.
Nailed it. Get in.
You see that just in the just to the right
The
of the
last
pin that went in.
Yeah.
So any more side wind, and you don't adjust for it, you'll probably miss that cup.
So Miyagi, are you? Because I've seen I've seen people using the side spin to counter off that wind,
yeah.
but you just use
We
the
talked
shot
about
rib.
that. Correct. Yep.
Yeah, I'm the same. But I remember Sharts looking at you last time. I know that you were offsetting with side spin.
Yeah, we were talking about it a little bit earlier. It's one of those things. I mean, I guess every time you second guess yourself in this game and you
Yeah.
miss, it forces you to second guess yourself even harder.
Oh
And
god, yeah.
so you do a half bar side spin, you miss it to that side, and okay, well I shouldn't have done it. So the next one you don't do it, and of course you miss opposite. So yeah, I mean, I've literally been tearing up my hair on this course the last. I mean, it's
Oh,
been
it's
out.
not easy.
It's been out for a couple months now, and I just cannot figure it out.
No, it's a challenge. Oh, I mean, I like it. It's a challenge. I
I
had
think it's great.
I had
It's
some
definitely the
success
hardest
yesterday.
part.
Not a lot. Sometimes I think I've got this, and then it just does something completely unexpected. And sometimes I think I'm not sure about this one, and sure enough, it drops.
Yeah. How'd you shoot on the thing today?
I got 28, I think, but I'm in a pretty soft bracket with 5 shots going into Bay Hill, so I'm doing all right.
Dude, I shot a 21.
Pardon?
I shot a 21, and I'm still in first.
Yeah. I've taken it easy this week. I've done Willie. I've done Willie style this week. I built some balls back up, and I'm not proud of myself.
Well, we called it this.
I just want an easy week. Sometimes I just want an easy weekend. There's no
Okay.
guarantee.
Okay, so this is the steepest hole in the course, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I think this is the hole that today I missed left and it back spun past to the right.
In?
Like I put it around the hole.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so if I look at the, it's about 4:30, isn't it? So I'm gonna set up about there. Actually, sorry. Sometimes because I'm so close to max, I'm gonna do. I set my my adjustment now, and then adjust the shot view. So I'm gonna go 2.5.
Yeah, so you can pull the max.
Yeah.
Hey guys,
Here we go.
Yo, who's this?
Beetlejuice.
Hey, Beetlejuice, what's
Hey,
up, man?
Beetle.
Hey guys.
Probably slightly kick off.
Miyagi's been educating us.
No,
Definitely
bit
want
more.
to see this.
No pressure. Okay, so I'm almost setting up like a direct headwind because of the upslope. I've got about a 430 side wind. Now, for those new viewers, just joining us, I have different calibrations on my clubs. That means I don't set up on the pin. I need to adjust away from the pin, right or left, depending on the angle and the strength of the wind. So bear with me, but I'll once I get past that initial setup for my calibration, then I'll add or subtract adjustments for the uphill approach and if need be the green slope. So this first adjustment of where I'm setting up may be different for you guys, but then the extra adjustments should be universal. Oh shit.
Oh, ran out of time.
Uh,
That's a shame.
well. So what I would have done, what I would have done is say where I was. I would have added another tick for the slight upslope in another tick to the left for the slight upslope in pull, but then another 2 or 3 ticks to the left for the significant uphill approach. So
And so
I would have,
you would have ended up with your shot view like a good probably 2 cup widths.
yeah. And you'll see, we'll see when that shot comes in, it curls like a motherfucker as it comes in the land.
It does, huh?
Yeah, and that, and you get the steeper your uphill approach, the more you have to allow for that secondary wind effect.
Yeah, that big bend on the first bounce.
Yep.
That's too bad we didn't get to see that one in action because that hole is when you get the drops on that one, it feels very satisfying.
Well, if you want me to, I can show you what I did during the 20.
Is this the same hole?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Oh, perfect.
That's magic.
So, Play, you bastard. So I would have set up, yeah, about there, right? Bang. Look at that turn in.
Yeah, that landed, like a good almost 3 cups to the left of where you expect it to land.
And
Or
so,
I'd expect it to land.
and so, quite a few of the those holes in the back 9 are quite similar, but they don't have the severity because they're only, they're only 3%, 2% versus that 4% that I judge that as being an uphill gradient. So, so you do use the same principle, but just a few less ticks adjustment.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's been I mean, super interesting, and it's really cool to see your approach, because it's you've got a completely different approach than I think anyone else I've ever watched, and you've got those adjustments baked into the way you've got your numbers calibrated, because like we were talking about a little bit earlier, not worrying about sort of compensating with side spin. I guess that's a variable that seems a little bit more unpredictable, and you're removing that sort of more unknowable variable from your equation entirely.
I'm just playing with the natural curve of the ball,
Yeah.
bounce of the ball. Yep.
Yeah, natural, like with the slope, with the wind, and the environment. You're letting the ball just do what you expect it to do based on the factors that you recognize, and not trying to shape it with side spin.
Yeah.
The next time Sedgefield comes up, we should do this again.
Sure.
And get the back 9 in, so that we can see you hole out on 10, just like on that replay there.
Yeah, absolutely. No problem.
Right on, man. Thanks for taking the time to do that. I think that was super informative.
No, my pleasure. I hope you got something out of it. You just got to separate what I do uniquely from everyone else, and what you should apply to your game, which is those extra adjustments for upslope and green slope.
Yeah, I think those are that's the big takeaway for me, is recognizing those, because it boils down to like an extra 0.1 here, an extra 0.1 there, but also that offset. And I think that's really what I'm taking away from this, is not just trying to get the ball, force the ball to land where you want it to, but recognizing that it's the shape of the shot can be accounted for with the factors that you can see.
Yeah.
Very cool, man. I'm gonna shut off the recording. Thanks for doing this. That was awesome.
No worries. The other guys there?